Welcome back to HirePresence. This is the last segment in this week's show. My guest today, Laura Merlando, the Stress Commando, stresscommando.com. She's also in the latest book by John Maxwell, the best-selling author, and it's on Everyone Communicates, Few Connect. Mm-hmm. She is a master connector, and I've seen that in action so many times as being an officer in ABWA, which is something like 40,000 members nationwide.
It's actually
worldwide.
More than that, but yes.
Okay, well, more than that. So we want to get into this time a couple of things. Resources that you've seen. You said the ABWA website has some resources. You have some resources on your blog.
Absolutely.
Talk a little bit about that.
Well, let's start with ABWA. If you go to abwa.org, you will see all of the information there. So abwa.org, that's the national website, and you can find out more information about our organization. I had never heard of the organization, sadly, and yet this year we're celebrating our 62nd anniversary. So it's an organization you should know about. Once you're a member, there are some online tutorials that I reference with regards to interviewing your cover letters. Those are all built in once you have become a member. So if you go to my website, stresscommando.com, there's a way to connect to me on Facebook. Message me and say, Laura, really, here's my situation. Why should I care? And I will 100% tell you why this would be a benefit for you, or maybe why it wouldn't. So that would be number one, was ABWA was the best resource, both the people that I met and then the online tutorials that they have available.
Now, guys can do it too. I mean, I've actually been a member of ABWA, and I didn't have to have anything changed. But there was reason. The women make, what, 80% of the buying choices in America?
Absolutely.
And, when you're talking about, video and how to create traffic back to your site, I mean, the things that we do, I mean, it made sense. It was a very obvious connection. So go on, though. You were saying that they can connect to you. What next?
Well, another way that I might be able to help is if you go to my blog site, which is stresscommandoblog.com. So stresscommandoblog.com. And if you scroll down, I did a post about the 3 ways that you can look for a job and things that you might not have thought of. And I do reference the asking for advice and looking for what would potentially be your boss, but not asking for a job, but asking for advice. And I give a couple of other ideas and tips there as well. So you definitely can do that. The third thing that I would say is, if I knew then what I know now, what would I do differently? Well, the one thing I would absolutely do differently are 2 things. Number one is I would make sure I knew my best colors. And I know that sounds really silly, but
I've always thought mine were, no, I'm kidding.
I mean, I came from where it was black, gray, brown. That's it. That's all you were allowed to wear in my former life. So what I mean by that is you want to put a color next to your face that makes you look alive. It goes to reason that employers want to hire people that look alive and positive. So wearing the right color can actually do that for you. And for free, if you go to stresscommando.com and you click eBeauty, there's a free color analysis so you know what your best color is. And make sure you're wearing that next to your face. I look back now at what things I wore to interview and how many of the wrong colors I had. Interestingly, I didn't get offers for those jobs. If I really look back, I didn't. So that would be number one, and that's a free and easy tip that you can take advantage of.
I just think that's so funny because, I mean, guys, we just think you wear a suit with a tie, but yet you're saying that even we could benefit from taking this so that we know that, Pat, you don't want to wear this shirt because it's not going to work.
Absolutely. The first time I saw it was actually done on a gentleman in one of my networking groups in Silicon Valley, and they were showing his colors, and he was kind of uncomfortable with the whole situation. But he wore the color when he went to go interview for a position, a contract position as an entrepreneur, and he also wore that color when he went to go apply for a loan. Both of these opportunities he had been turned down before, and he noticed that wearing that color, knowing that it was his best color, he stood taller, he projected better, so his confidence was higher. And so it did have an impact not only on him, but the way he was perceived. So he got the job, he got the loan. So that would be number one advice. The second advice is if there's a lot of time between when you've had your job and your next success, get busy. Not just simply actively looking for work, but now start volunteering or maybe get some part-time work. There are a lot of articles right now, the Wall Street Journal, Forbes, even the Ladders just put an article out about how you need to be working while you're in transition. And I was very, very, very close-minded to the direct sale and multi-level marketing. I was very close-minded to a lot of other part-time opportunities or telemarketing opportunities. I realize now that was a bad decision on my part, because the skills that I have learned now would have made me a much better employee had I already been involved in this. So just there's some ways and some tips, and I can help you with that. Connect with me. I can give you some great questions that you can ask so that you're making the right decisions for yourself and you're walking in making an educated decision. Because right now, information is key and power, and you just need as much as possible so you can get to that next success, whatever it is.
So they can connect to you at stresscommando.com.
Absolutely.
Your blog is stresscommandoblog.com. They can read about you in John Maxwell's book, Everyone Communicates If You Connect.
Yep, they'll see my picture. The curly hair's a dead giveaway on the front,
Yeah,
so you'll see that.
So next week we've got Tyler Pearson. He's with Insperity. They used to be called Administaff, now Insperity. And he's going to talk about what are the keys to having a successful interview from the management and hiring side. In other words, from his perspective, what are the keys that you need to make sure you know? This is Pat Dewar with HirePresence. Laura Merlando's been my guest. Great week. We'll talk to you next week.